Well, it's embarrassing. It's a division opponent. Listen, it's the NFL. It's like pros versus pros. I mean, you cannot get waxed like we got waxed by Tampa Bay. Well, first off, you can't dig a hole and you're down 17-0. Everybody's worried about the offseason. Oh, watch out for the Falcons. Oh, they got Kirk Cousins and all that. Now, look at that game, how it went down to the wire in overtime. Tampa Bay and Atlanta. But didn't Tampa Bay win the Division 3 seasons in a row? It's the Saints have won it 4 seasons in a row.
You're right. No respect going into the year, right?
Right. No one's even talking about Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay team and Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles last year was on the cusp of getting fired. But what happened? They won the division, and he's hosting a playoff game, and they beat the Eagles. Remember they beat the Eagles in the playoffs? And we waxed them at the end of the year. I don't know, the dome field advantage, Raymond James field advantage, it doesn't matter. I mean, look, last year I remember they came here, and I said this in the pregame, Steve. This is now Dennis Allen's worst loss, and Tampa Bay has done it. That if you look at it, what occurred, that being, Dennis Allen, versus the Saints, that it was 26-9 loss. That was in New Orleans last year, 26-9. Now it's 51-27, but that was the worst loss of the Dennis Allen era. But then we go to Raymond James Stadium, remember, at the end of the year, and it was right before the playoffs. We beat them 23-13. I'm saying we're playing them in the last game of the year. We could beat them. It's the NFL any given Sunday. But this is embarrassing. This is humiliating. And you know what? Dennis Allen, he did acknowledge this. It's on me. Remember I told you if the offense sucks, Dennis Allen has nothing to do with it?
Oh, for sure.
When the defense sucks and they can't tackle, no. Dennis Allen got to look in the mirror. The coach got to look in the mirror. The players got to look in the mirror. I agree with Deuce 1,000%. Hoss was saying that, you got to flush this. Flush nothing. I don't care if the game's on Thursday. You better look at the film and say, okay, what can I do better? And like Dennis Allen said, you don't really practice tackling anymore. I mean, who are we trying to tackle out there? Derrick Henry of the Ravens? I mean, some fans don't even know. Bucky Irving. Isn't that the high draft pick? Where is he from? Oregon, I think?
Correct.
And then Tucker.
Right.
From Syracuse?
Exactly.
I mean, did he
That's
kick
the one
out?
I was like, who is Sean Tucker?
Yeah, Syracuse, 2-year guy out of Syracuse. He just kicked out butt. I mean, Tucker averaged basically 10 yards a carry. Irving averaged 6 yards a carry. No, that was embarrassing. That was a butt whooping to be butt whooping. Look, okay. Look, what have you done for me lately? How many times does Bobby Hebert use that cliche? What have you done for me lately? Man, the first 2 games, when was that, a decade ago?
I don't know.
That's how it seems like against Carolina
Take me back.
And the Cowgirls. I mean, it's black and gold in the Super Bowl. Okay, what has happened the last 4 games? Nothing. What happened? The Saints have now lost 4 straight games. The last time that happened? I think he ended up quitting or something. Sean Payton was the head coach in his final season in 2021. Was the last time we lost 4 games in a row. I'm just saying. You gotta stop that. You gotta stop the bleeding somehow. But how can you stop the bleeding when you can't stop your opponent? Just look at first downs. Time of possession, it wasn't as bad as the Chiefs, but they had the ball 8 minutes more than we did. If you look now in 2 games, we've given up 59 first downs. What? We have a JV defense? No, if our defense doesn't play well, we have no freaking chance. I'm telling you right now, I don't care who's the quarterback. We have no chance the way this team is structured if our defense does not kick ass. And you could say, well, Bobby, we had the number 1 red zone defense. Yes, we did. We only given up 25% red zone touchdowns. Well, today, the Buccaneers were 4 or 5 in the red zone. I guess that's the equivalent of 80%. So there was nothing you can write home about, but today the Buccaneers had 31 first downs. We gave up 28 first downs against the Chiefs. Not good on both sides. On third down, they were at 60%. That's never good. And you needed to flip this. We needed to be 60% on third down, 50 or 60%, and 31% on the defensive side, but we only converted 4 or 13, 31%. So that was never good. No, average gain per offensive play, like 8.5 yards. It could have been like Canadian rule football. You only get 2 downs and you got to punt on 3rd down. They were just waxing us. I mean, can you stop the run? I don't know. Then just look at those chunk plays. And that's why you look average rushing net yards at 7.9. That's humiliating. And what's humiliating is that, okay, don't we think, how we always say, how we emphasize this, can we run the football and can we stop the run? Well, as of late, we sure in the hell can't stop the damn run. I mean, Dallas, we stopped Dallas and Carolina. They were dysfunctional. Hey, look at Dallas. The Cowgirls are dysfunctional running the football. So what if you stop them? Into 2 games then we gave up like 68 yards. You have to look who you play it. Coming into the game, we had yielded, if you look, like 133 yards a game, 5 yards a carry the last 3 games. So that's not good.
That's going up.
Yes. And then today the Bucs had 277 yards, 7.9 yard average. Simply, I think a lot of it is we can't tackle. If you can't tackle, it's tackle football. It's not flags. We're not playing flag where you just grab the flag. Okay, you down. Sorry, you down. Now, the Bucs were trying to definitely keep us in the game. You look at the first half. If you're winning 17-0, you should never lose. And the Bucs didn't lose, but they made it interesting. They were losing at halftime. What the hell just happened? They're probably thinking. But they made adjustments at halftime, to Spencer Rattler, the bootlegs and all that. And I tell you that. And I got this from Warren Moon, so it's not just coming from me. He says, Bobby, all these young cats, they come into the league and they start playing. They might be a flash in the pan. This is before we played, when we played, and even in the future. They could be good for 2 or 3 games or a month, but what are you going to do after that? Well, Spencer Rattler on the offensive side of the ball, we weren't even good after halftime, after they adjusted to the bootleg. What? You better know what you're doing. And I'm just saying, I don't know right now what's the answer, but look, the Buccaneers are trying to shoot themselves in the foot. They had 12 penalties. The first half was almost they had a whole game of penalties. So that's basically giving up a touchdown. So actually the score is even worse than what it is. And to me, if you ever return a punt and a touchdown for a touchdown, you should never lose. When you get like pick six or scoop and score, but you get like a kickoff or a punt return, no one's never realistically counting on that. You get that? Well, you should win the game. But obviously, that was not the case. The one positive thing, I'm not going to be all negative, but how can you not be negative when you lose 51-27? The one positive for sure is, did Derek Carr did not know how to utilize the tight end? Spencer Rattler figured it out. I mean, we targeted the tight end 5 targets. They had 5 catches for 102 yards total. Looking at Foster Morrow, and then Juwan Johnson. So they had 102 yards total. Morrow had 54. Johnson had 48. So I look out Bub Means. I don't know. Bub Means feel like he wants to play. The rookie out of Pittsburgh. He had 5 catches. He caught a touchdown. No, do you want to be a pro or do you want to play? I mean, and then you look at the turnover battle. We had a chance. All of a sudden, we're +2. So that's a winning formula. +2, you should never lose. But you know what happened at the end of the game? It's 0. Not positive or negative, but it's not an advantage. 0 turnover margin.
Offsetting turnover.
Yeah, offsetting. Yeah, so we +2. We needed to keep that +2. Now, Alvin Kamara, I don't know. We ride at 4 yards a carry, 3.9, 21 rushing attempts. I know Kubiak wants that to be 31 instead of 21, or at least in the high 20s rushing attempts. But we all, right at 4 yards, 3.9. Rattler helped that. He had 4 rushes for 27 yards, 6.8 average. Alvin, that's not good. He had 3.1 average. So nothing to write home about with that. And I'm going to talk about this in the next break, because I told Charlie, look this up. Everybody talks about Mike Evans and Lattimore to match up. You know who's the Saints killer? It's Chris Godwin out of Penn State. Chris Godwin is the cat. I'm talking about, if you look, Charlie was telling me this, And it's even worse when you look at it. The last 3 games, again, what have you done for him lately? Chris Godwin against the Saints is like a Hall of Famer. Pro Football Hall of Fame. Not a Florida Hall of Famer. Pro Football Hall of Fame, what he's done the last 3 games. Well, you look at it in 14 games against the Saints, he has 75 catches, 9 touchdowns, and over 1,000 yards, 1,038 yards. So, and especially the number's even going to be worse when Charlie's going to give that to me, that Chris Godwin, not Mike Evans, has truly been that Saints killer. Now, if you look at it, Thursday's going to be here before you know it. And I don't know. I think the Broncos are good. I don't think the Broncos are good.
They're down 20-0 right now to the Chargers.
To the Chargers. The Chargers.
In Denver.
And Harbaugh, I like the way they play. And, we're going to have to play the Chargers in Los Angeles. We're not winning that game. That would be an upset. But Denver, we could beat Denver. But I don't know. Is it bad versus bad? You know, Sean Payton's coming to town, and all of a sudden a big hoopla and all that. But I don't think the Broncos are very good. And the Saints are not very good right now. So what does that mean? So I don't know. It's not no measuring stick about when you're trying to compete amongst the best. But, again, you got to stop the bleeding. I don't know how we're going to stop the bleeding because, like Coach Allen said, we need to stop or we need to practice more tackling drills. Well, the game's on Thursday. Before the Broncos game, we're not practicing no damn tackling drills.
No, you need recoup time.
And we're just trying to say who's freaking healthy to even play. Who's ready to play and be available come Thursday? I think after that we play the Chargers. Look that up, Steve. I think after the Broncos game, I think we go to L.A. and we play the Chargers.
Correct.
Now, we better win. So if we don't beat the Broncos, what would that be, 5 straight losses? And then the Chargers might be 6 straight losses? No, we got to somehow stop the bleeding. We got to beat Denver come Thursday night. I think it's going to be an emotional game. Drew Brees be in town, Sean Payton's coming back and all that. But you know what was a positive? Another positive, you know, I try to look for some positives, and I can't even remember. What was the one positive I say? Oh, the tight ends. Utilizing the tight ends.
I was going to say, I don't know where the positive is.
No, utilizing the tight ends finally. You know what else? I think we have the right damn punter, the Hebert. I think Hebert is the right punter for the Saints. How he's consistently punting the ball inside the 10-yard line. He's getting the right hang time. And you look at the net. I always look at the net and what we average. For instance, this is pretty damn good. This is amongst the best in the league. 42.5 yards net. But then when I look at versus, because we had that big punt return for a touchdown, the Buccaneers averaged 25.5. So, yeah, you know, you could find some, we okay here, but it's few and far between. You know, it's like, we have 10 to 15% working in our favor, and that 85% is against us right now. Bad. It's a 2-for-1. It's the Buccaneers. How can you not get up for the Buccaneers in the Superdome? So that just goes to show you dealing with a hurricane and all that. Sometimes adversity, you know, that sometimes if you're a pro, it helps you focus on the task at hand, and that's what Tampa Bay did. And you know what? I was totally discouraged at the beginning. When it's 17-0,
right?
I said, man, we got to help out our young quarterback. We can't be down 17-0. And I said, if our defense doesn't play well, we're not going to win. We bounced back. Then Tampa Bay, they make adjustments at halftime, and then we got exploited. And then it was an embarrassing loss. One of the most embarrassing losses I've seen in a while, and especially the most embarrassing loss under Dennis Allen.